Am I the jerk? Number 4.
Am I the jerk for kicking out my boyfriend and my pregnant sister after I found out they were cheating? I, 22 female, have been with my boyfriend Jared, 22 male, since we were freshmen in high school. We've been through a lot together, and I honestly thought he was my person. That all changed recently when I found out he was cheating on me, with my sister Abby, 29 female, who is currently pregnant. For context, Abby had been staying with us for the past couple of months. Her boyfriend Tom, 30 male, left her when she was around 4 months pregnant, and I offered to let her stay with me to help her get back on her feet. I'm the only one on the lease, so I had the final say. I thought I was doing something kind and supportive for my sister. Turns out, she and Jared started hooking up behind my back. I found out through some texts I saw on Jared's phone, and when I confronted them, they didn't deny it. I was completely blindsided and heartbroken. I told them both to get out immediately. I told Abby she could move back in with our parents. Our dad is 100% on my side, but our mom is furious with me. She says I'm being heartless by kicking out my pregnant sister and that I should have some compassion. I get that she's in a tough spot, but I feel like she made her own bed. I was trying to help her, and this is how she repays me. Now my mom is telling family members that I'm being cruel, and a few have reached out saying I should have handled it more privately and not humiliated her while she's pregnant. So, am I the jerk for kicking them out? I am posting this on my friend's account so it's not linked back to me. And the names aren't real, I just need advice. Am I the jerk for giving my daughters 1 week to leave my house after what they did to their half-brother? I have 2 daughters. Both over 20. They graduated college and moved back in with me because they couldn't find a job. The house is my late husband's house, Robert. For context, their dad and I got divorced 9 years ago. I got remarried to Robert and had my 7-year-old son Tom. The girls didn't have a good relationship with Robert. In fact, they hated him because of what their dad filled their heads about him. They lived with their dad, they chose to, before going off to college. Robert passed away 6 months ago after a long battle with disease. It was just me and my son Tom. The girl's dad got remarried last year and the woman is basically a witch. That's why the girls stopped visiting there. They lived in rental apartment during college and their dad used to pay for rent but stopped after his wife fought with them. The girls couldn't get a job to pay for rent and asked if they could move in with me and Tom for a while. I, of course, said yes. Although I knew how they felt about Tom. They moved in and they were nice to Tom but also distant. 2 days ago, I had an expected call and needed to leave the house. Tom was in bed all day because he was sick and I asked the girls to look after him for 2 hours till I got back. I left quickly, then an hour later, I got a text from Tom asking me to come home because he threw up again in his room. He said he called for his sisters to help but no one responded. I immediately tried to call them but both lines were busy. I did my best to come home earlier thinking the girls weren't at home, but turned out they were. One was downstairs the entire time, the other said she was using kitchen appliances, that's why she couldn't hear Tom. I was going to believe them till Tom said he tried to text them but they didn't respond. I checked their phones after they tried to deny it and he was right. His message was, "Read," but no response. I blew up at them both and called them pathetic. They argued that I was making them act like they are the parent and placing responsibility on them. I knew this wasn't about that. They hated Robert. Fine. That might be a little understandable. But Tom is a kid and he has no part in all of this to be treated like that. I knew they neglected him on purpose. So I told them they have 1 week to move out and they started arguing and even crying saying I'm being too harsh on them, and acting worse than their dad's new wife. I said this wasn't up for discussion and now both of them are giving me the silent treatment. Basically making me feel guilty about the whole thing. Maybe I've made a wrong decision. But seeing how they've neglected their brother merely out of resentment and hate makes me feel upset and quite concerned to have them around him. Am I the jerk for not letting my husband relight my daughter's birthday candles for my 3-year-old to blow out? I, 32 female, have seen and read plenty of stories where spoiled kids have blown out other kids' candles or thrown a fit when they're not allowed to. My husband, 35 male, apparently has not. Friday was my daughter's 10th birthday. The day of, I will make them the food of their choice and a small cake. The party is usually at a later date. After we ate, we got her cake ready, and my 3-year-old was very excited. I had explained to him all throughout the day that it was sister's birthday, not his, so he had to wait for the cake. We lit the candles, sang happy birthday, and she blew out the candles. This might be where I might have been the asshole. My husband grabbed the lighter and tried to relight them, so the baby could blow them out too. I said, "No. It's daughter's birthday, and I refuse to allow my son to be one of those spoiled kids that can't understand it's not their day." His face fell immediately. He said he was just trying to help and keep the baby happy. We dropped it there. He was kinda quiet the rest of the night. I didn't mean to come off harsh. I just didn't want my daughter to feel like she had to share her day or that it wasn't all about her. Update: I have had a sit down with my husband, and we have come to an understanding. But before I get into that, I wanted to address some things. I received a lot of comments about 3 not being a baby. We are aware. We do not call him baby. My 3-year-old will correct anybody that calls him outside his actual or nickname. It was for post purposes, so I wouldn't use his name. Second, my 10-year-old daughter doesn't have issues being kind and sharing. I didn't ask her because she's the kind of kid that will say yes to make you happy even if that's not what she wants. I was able to tell on her face she was happy I said no for her. Thirdly, the toddler didn't ask to blow out the candles or show any interest in the candles. His sole focus was the cake. He didn't cry, get mad, or throw a fit. He was happy with his slice of cake. Lastly, my husband is not misogynistic and doesn't usually play favorites. He encourages all our kids to be the best they can be. He tells the girls they can be anything they want, and being a girl will not stop them. His thing with the 3-year-old is he's our last, so he's trying to be as involved as he can. Oh, and as stated above, this wasn't a party, it was our intimate celebration before the party in 2 weeks. Now, on to the update. We had a conversation about that night. I apologize for my tone in referring to the kids as mine. I told him my intent was not to come off so harshly. I just didn't want my daughter to feel like we were taking her moment. He apologized for attempting to relight the candles, especially while they were still on the cake. He really wasn't thinking of the grand scheme. He just thought son would like to have a turn. He did realize he was thinking about how daughter would feel, and that's why he got kind of quiet. He stayed thinking on daughter after the fact. He had a conversation with daughter, letting her know she's important, and he didn't mean to take away from her moment. So all is well in this household. Thank you for all your opinions on the matter.
Am I the jerk for bailing on my best friend's wedding after finding out I'm not in the wedding party?
Known Jake for 16 years, since we were 10, and always thought we were ride or die. Was super supportive when he met Sarah, helped plan the proposal, and he literally called me first when she said yes. In years we became distant in terms of daily communication, but whenever we meet up it was like we saw each other yesterday. Last month I casually asked about bachelor party plans and discovered not only am I not best man, fine, that's his brother, I'm not even in the wedding party at all. He picked work friends he's known for like 2 years over me, and like he said that he didn't know if I could come since we are like an hour and a half drive far from each other. When I asked why, he gave some BS about keeping numbers even with her side, and like he said that he didn't know if I could come since we are like an hour and a half drive far from each other. I technically was also saving up some money so that I can get a nice gift and get a nice suit. Was going to use that money to fly across the country for their destination wedding. After finding this out, I made up a work excuse and bailed completely.
Now Jake's blowing up my phone saying I'm being petty and his fiancée is saying I'm making their day about me. Am I the jerk for not wanting to watch my supposed best friend get married from the random guest section? That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought about these stories. Do you really think they were the jerks? Here are some other videos I highly recommend, and don't forget you'll find a wide variety of them on my channel. See you next time.